Watch along if you want to learn how to use a very basic visual in Power BI to make your reports stand out.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
So the visual that I wanted to go through is not actually this one on the right hand side, which might catch people's eye. I'm going to go through this visual separately in another video in the next week or two. It's just this text box on the left hand side. Now, up until probably a month ago, I would have only used text boxes in Power BI for titles of report pages and maybe to separate sections of report pages out. But what you can do in text boxes is you can utilize measures to bring in dynamic content. So what's that mean? So here you can see I have this titled as current month commentary, and it's basically given some data basically based off the current month. So it's saying the current month net profit is 77%, the previous month net profit is 4%, and a movement of 73%. Our top selling service was Sales Power BI Consulting, and the highest expense that wasn't wages and salaries was advertising. So if I change, and you'll notice here that I have this visual and page filtered for 2024 and for all of the months. But if I go to 2020, even if I go into, let's say, January, which is the previous month here, you'll notice that the visual here only shows January, which I wanted to do. I want to be able to, the user to be able to filter in and see what the gross amount and budget amount was for specific months, quarters, or years. But I always want this to stay as the current month commentary. Now, that's one way you can use it. Another way you could use this little text box is to have it dynamic. So before I show it dynamically, I'll just go back to 2023, and you'll notice as well there that this changes, but again, the commentary doesn't, which is what I want. But if I go to another page that I've created, which is essentially the exact same, but this is now a dynamic commentary box. So if I go up here, select all the months, go to 2024, we're seeing now what we previously seen, but this is a little bit different. So if I select February, you'll notice that my data is now showing what it previously was showing because February is the current month. But if you're presenting this or if you're getting ready for a presentation or a meeting, and if you select January, that will automatically update based off your selection. So you can really utilize these dynamic text boxes to save a lot of time for commentary of any reports or financials, and they're very, very easy to set up. So what I'll do now really quickly is go through a little tutorial on how to bring these measures into your text boxes.
So jumping over to Power BI desktop just to show how to drop in the measure into these text boxes. Obviously, just drag in a text box from the pane here up here. Put in, so you just type in your regular commentary, whatever you want to say. But in terms of dropping in a measure, I have to change this here. This is currently only showing the current month. So I'm going to backspace here, and how you drop in a measure is click on this, and you need to type in your measure name in here. So I know that this one is called it starts with the highest expense. So if I type in, and sometimes, so I know that it's the highest expense after wages percent of total. So it's not showing up there. So I need to put in a little bit more detail. So it was showing up there. Backspace, highest expense. Sometimes it takes a little while for it to read it. There. So highest expense after wages percent of total expenses. So that's basically saying give me the highest expense category after wages and salaries as a percentage of my total expenses. You rename it down here. So I'm just going to say HE, click on save. So that now changed to 3.2%. And where is it calculating that 3.2% from? It's basically saying that wages and salaries in this month were 3 grand. The highest one was subscriptions. After that was 207. So it's just dividing the 207 by the 3,000. If I change this then to December or November, you'll see that general expenses was actually higher again now, and you can see it was dynamically changing. So that's how you use dynamic measures in commentary boxes just to make reports stand out a little bit more.